Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for the Daffy Duckaroo, released in 1942. It's the 385th in the series and is directed by Norm McCabe. There's no restoration available for this one as far as I'm aware, or even like a film scan or something, so what you're seeing is the best I could do. It's in the public domain, so I'll have the whole short playing for you after this review, because this one's actually a nice little gem if you can look past the stereotypes. But in case you haven't seen this one, basically Daffy's a crooner who decides to quit and go out into the West, and he encounters a Native American girl. He tries to seduce this girl, but her current boyfriend, Little Beaver, shows up and, well, hilarity ensues, and you'll be able to see the short after all of this. First up, you're going to see the highlights of the audio commentary for this short. The full thing's still up on the channel, but for consistency's sake, I thought I'd put this in here because my good friend Austin Cowley goes through some great points here. And then I will go through a few things that was missed in the original track as well. So grab some popcorn and enjoy. With me today is my good friend Austin Cowley. Say hi.
How you doing? I just want to say first off, this is a personal favorite. I could talk about it for hours if I want to, literally hours. I think
Wow.
It's great.
Wow. But we start off with Daffy singing My Little Buckaroo, pretty much, from what I can see.
And there's that line at the beginning in that newspaper. It just says, "I want to be alone." Ellipsis Ranger. It's that Greta Garbo line, and then Lone Ranger, of course, is self-explanatory. There's just so much fun packed into that one frame. And there's also just so much fun packed into the whole cartoon.
Yeah, this opening bit, I mean, whether you don't like the rest of it because of the stereotypes and that or not, this opening bit with Daffy is incredible. I'm just amazed by it. It's so funny, especially with the donkey the donkey's just not even responding.
There was that one shot, he even had cross eyes in that thing. You really tell these animators are putting like all their effort into this.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, I'm an Aussie in that. I've heard her accent before. Where would her accent come from in the US? Because clearly they're playing on something here.
It's like Long Island, New York-ish. It's kind of
Yeah.
Those guys love to, Clampett especially, love to use that accent all the time. If you listen to a receptionist in a Clampett cartoon, they always have that accent. Freeling as well.
Because I've heard that kind of accent more in the Flintstones. I've been rewatching them, and it's like, there's a couple of live wires. Like, I love that for ticket scalping. I gotta admit, that gave me a chuckle, just a ridiculous, like, that's why he's wanted. Not just scalping, it's ticket scalping. Ridiculous.
You notice there's some odd shades of like black and white, and they're kind of brighter than usual. There's a newspaper clipping, people, review these cartoons all the time. They would just write a tiny blurb about them that says that this cartoon, as the person saw it, was released in color. Now, I'm sure it was just a simple misunderstanding on the guy's part, and he just had seen so many cartoons and just forgot which one he was talking about. But, I mean, anything's possible. Like I said, it has some unnaturally bright black and whites. And it was made around the same time that the Hepcat was, which was the first color Looney Tunes. So, I mean, I'll leave it up to the viewers to come to their own conclusions. But
It's just a shame that we can't, the print being used is, like I said, I'll try and source the best possible one. But, I can see what you mean. It's possible that they made it in color, but then they just ended up processing it in black and white. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I'm going to assume that the background artist is the same as the Impatient Patient.
yes,
It looks like Hilberman.
this is also Dave Hilberman, as far as I'm aware.
You gotta love the butt hitting the drummer. I thought, okay, we got a butt joke in the Looney Tunes short.
Gosh, I wish I knew who animated that. Just great bits of character animation in this thing. People don't talk about McCabe's cartoons because like half of them have like politically incorrect stuff about them, like this one, and then all of them are in black and white. But if you watch them, they're actually pretty great, and even more advanced than some of the stuff that was going on at the studio around the same time. We just talked about Impatient Patient. I think that one was great, very advanced, very Tashlin cinematic esque in some of its shots. Just such a shame that people don't talk about McCabe enough anymore.
I want to know how many times has Daffy actually kissed someone in this short. He seems to be kissing everyone every 2 seconds, I think. But look, see the sign there? It goes end of slide area. Just the way that the sign was drawn, it's very modern. Like, there was no 2 separate pieces for the pole and the sign itself. It was just one, like, T shape. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and these cactuses are really interesting if you're looking at those too. I mean, they kind of look. See, look at those. I mean, those aren't cactuses at all. I don't think cactuses look like that. I mean, it just looks weird. But I think it's a pretty cool look.
We even had like a war gag where it's like, we don't use real bullets because we're saving them for the war kind of thing.
I think the end gag is a reference to something war related as well.
So as mentioned, that whole track is still up on the channel. So a few things that I just wanted to mention. So first of all, the title, as you probably would have guessed by now, is a play on the song My Little Buckaroo, but thought I'd mention it for the few that aren't aware of that. And I did make a mistake in the original commentary. So the Native American girl here is not voiced by Bea Benaderet. It's actually by Sarah Berner, and that is as per the Cartoon Voices book by Keith Scott. But it's incredible because I'm listening to the voice, and it really sounds like Bea Benadet's Long Island type voice that she would do, especially in the Flintstones. She would do that kind of thing. But I just wanted to make sure that that was corrected here. And one thing I didn't realize at the time, because I didn't really look ahead too much when I was doing these commentary tracks at the time, but this is actually the final Daffy Duck short by Norm McCabe. I'm not sure if I'd call this one his best, but the Daffy Duck shorts he's done are really, really good. In fact, that's probably the biggest shame of Norm McCabe not continuing on as a director, because he went off to war, because I think he would have done a lot more amazing things with Daffy. And hey, if it was long enough, what would he have done with Bugs Bunny? Who knows? But it's one of those things. I guess we'll just have to go to another alternate universe where Norm McCabe ended up having a long career. But anyway, it is what it is. So let's take a look at the short itself on the bits that I missed. So I just wanted to elaborate further on certain things and, go through a few things I missed. In the beginning, we see that it's pretty much a play on the cowboy crooners and cowboy songs of the 1940s. McCabe just has Daffy as a cowboy crooner, because why not? But there was definitely a really big thing back in the day that was really, really, really popular. We see the line, I want to be a lone ranger, and that's a play on Greta Garbo's famous line. That was mentioned by Austin Kelly, I know, in commentary track, but I just wanted to elaborate that she was so well known for that, and she was a notoriously private person. And I would have mentioned this in a few tracks, I know, but hey, this could be someone's first review, right? So with Greta Garbo, she was a famous actress in the 30s to early 40s, and she was notoriously private, refused to give autographs, barely gave any interviews, and then later on in her life, people were just fascinated by this woman because of how private she was. So there you are. I gotta say, the Daffy sequence in the beginning, even if you just watch that one bit, is incredible tour de force of Mel Blanc's voice acting, the energetic animation, and the gags. It's fantastic, and that's why at the end of this review, just definitely pay close attention to it. And even my partner in crime, Austin Kelly, at the time, pointed that out. I was curious about that 10-gallon reference, because it ends up going from 10 gallons to half pint, which we don't really use those measurements here in Australia, but anyway, I get the idea of it. But the 10-gallon hat is a reference to how much water could potentially be carried in a hat to give to a horse. So they would go to a river or a stream, and they'd use the hat to scoop it up, and apparently it would hold 10 gallons. I'm not a cowboy, anything like that, allegedly. So if you have another answer to that, let me know. But as far as I'm aware, it's just a unit of measurements of how much water that hat could potentially carry. And then as the scene goes on, I just like how ridiculous the song My Little Buckaroo gets, with the different tempos and the different rhythms involved. And where did the trombone come from? It's just this massive trombone that just appears for a few seconds and then just disappears. So ridiculous. It's fantastic. So he encounters the Native American village there, and he ends up seeing this Native American girl there, and he ends up singing the song used in Naughty Neighbors, which is Would You Like to Take a Walk? And I like his rendition here. It's a really nice one, I gotta say. But what's never not funny is Daffy doing that French accent to try and woo the Native American girl. And we even hear the song Always in My Heart while all that is going on as well. I just absolutely enjoy it. And it's such great build-up too, because you get all this build-up. You expect a certain kind of voice, I suppose, like a Native American type voice, right? But then all that build-up, and it ends up being that she has a Long Island accent. I'm the quiet type, alright, but I sure could go for you. I'm awful at that. I apologize. Apologize to all those from Long Island for butchering your accent. But I'm sure you guys probably butcher mine anyway. Then we see this really weird joke, just that Daffy sees the picture of Little Beaver, just turns around, and it's just a moving picture for some reason, where he's twiddling his thumbs. Very, very odd. Where we hear Little Beaver's voice, that's based off the Red Skeleton character, Clem Cadiddlehopper, and he even says the name for the Native American girl is Daisy June, as per the actual show. The name itself, Little Beaver, is the same name as the Native American sidekick of the character Red Ryder, so a whole bunch of references right there. And what I thought was unintentionally funny is that, so he goes in the tent, he sees his girlfriend, he looks over, and then Daffy appears cross-dressing, and he tries to woo her. It's like, hang on a moment, your girlfriend's sitting right there. And Daisy June just leaves like it's normal. Maybe he just has a whole bunch of girlfriends, I don't know. It's just really, really bizarre. I thought that was hilarious. So Daffy ends up saying, "Be-yo," and that would be a gag that would be used in an upcoming Clampett Bug short, and I believe it comes from an advertising campaign involving, well, what else would it involve if someone's saying "be-yo"? So that's where that comes from. But I do like, yes, okay, it's not politically correct. It's definitely not. But all that drumming that Daffy does, the animation that is great, and it's all, of course, mixed in with him throwing a few tomahawks here and there in time to the music. And we even randomly see a bass drum. And yes, that's a bass drum. Thanks, Manny Cruz, like my good friend, Hugh Tenor. Anything music related, I'll just ask him because he gives me the answer there. But yes, it's definitely a bass drum. Now, again, this part isn't politically correct, I know. But I've always admired Mel Blanc's ability to do an accent, but then have someone in that accent trying to imitate another accent. So here we hear the, well, okay, exaggerated Native American accent based off of radio references and that, but that impersonating a French lover. It's a combination I never thought was possible, but hey, Mel Blanc pulls it off. It's really, really great. And we get the usual cartoon trope. He doesn't realize that Daffy's a guy until the wig is pulled off. Sure. We see it so many times, but whatever. It is what it is. But one of the biggest laugh out loud moments for me in this short is that Daffy kisses the girl, and then he looks over at Little Beaver and he goes, "Oh well, you too," and just kisses. That was a great delivery and a great gag. I thought that was fantastic. Up ahead, we do hear the line, "Is there a first aid student in the house?" And that's a nice variation of the saying, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And you would have seen that in a lot of cartoons where these things were played in packed theatre houses. So I guess if someone's injured, for whatever reason in one of these theatre houses, the usher would yell out, "Is there a doctor in the house?" So that's what that's for. We see Daffy say, "We don't use any ammunition, folks. We save it for the army." So this was done around World War II, of course. And this is a World War II themed joke about saving metal for the war effort, because the army needs the bullets, right? And we get some great animation of Little Beaver on his quote-unquote unicycle. I thought that was a nice little touch. And we get that weird detail of Daffy's hand on the donkey's neck, kind of reaching over. It's just so bizarre. I'm really disappointed that this is the last Daffy short that Norman Cade did. I really would have loved to see the more craziness come out of him in terms of making more Daffy Duck shorts. But it is what it is. The Painted Desert, that's a reference to a Badlands area in Arizona near the Grand Canyon National Park. So I'm assuming this whole short takes place around the Arizona area, and it kind of makes sense, because if Daffy's leaving Hollywood, so I guess he's just heading east and he'd be crossing through Arizona anyway. Yeah, it all adds up. And coincidentally, South Australia also has an area called the Painted Desert, which is a major attraction there, and it's absolutely beautiful. If you haven't been, if you're in Australia and you've done all the main stuff, visit South Australia and head over to the Painted Desert. It's really beautiful there. There's a sign gag with Los Angeles City where it says, you know. That's a gag on just how far Los Angeles had sprawled as a city. And yeah, we look at Los Angeles today as this major wide city, right, with many suburbs, but back then, yeah, it was just growing at this rapid rate, and it was essentially swallowing up all these smaller towns, incorporating it into the one big city, so that's what that's referencing too. The Petrified Forest is a real forest in Arizona, which, again, yeah, I guess this really does take place in Arizona, and Daffy literally becomes petrified, and then you see a little beaver being upset that he's lost his whittle hammer, so I don't know if that's a mean little kid reference there, but if you know where that comes from, let me know in the comments. And we get a clever, yes, politically incorrect gag in terms of the phone booth, using it to call his friends to come and help. And the friends attempt to help, and we end with the World War II rationing gag, where the tires attempted to be stolen and then returned, where, yeah, it doesn't fit this Native American's bike, but yeah, it's all to do with rationing, because it wasn't just metal, it was also rubber and other items, sugar and that sort of thing. So, this one, despite the stereotypes in here, is one of those little gems that I think is absolutely hilarious. Just squint past the stereotypes and you can definitely have fun with this one. This one gets an 8 out of 10. I really hope to see it restored one day. And again, you can judge for yourself, because it's in the public domain, and I'll have it for you right here, so you don't have to go anywhere else to see it. So, that'll do it for this review. Now enjoy the cartoon. Take care. Until next time. See ya.
Close your sleepy eyes, my little buckaroo, while the light of western skies is shining down on you. Don't you know it's time for bed, another day is through, so hit the hay, my little buckaroo. Howdy, you all. Don't you realize, my little buckaroo, it was from a little oak tree that a chestnut grew. And remember that your papa was a punk like you. My little buckaroo. Oh, now it's time for you to run up a dream or two. So get some shut-eye, my little buckaroo. Indians? Let me out of here! Would you like to take a walk? Do you think it's gonna rain? How about a sarsaparilla? My darling, my adorable one. My chérie, I love you, love you. You are divine, my little prairie flower. Oh, so timid, so shy, so retiring. Oh, gee, kid, you really think so? Honest, Injun? Yeah, I'm the quiet type, all right, but I could sure go for you. Only my boyfriend, little Beefer, won't let me have no fellas. He shaves the head off. Phooey. Gee, kid, he's liable to be here any minute. Oh, gosh, there he is now. Yeah. Who's afraid of a little old Insane.
Daisy June.
Who here?
Why? Little beaver, me princess, get you gummy, me little beaver, goodbye now.
Coochie, coochie, coochie. You like 'em, little beaver? Ugh.
Ugly.
Be-oh.
Wahoo! Wahoo!
Wahoo! Me love 'em, you. Ooh, we pitch 'em, woo. Oh, you divine.
Oh well, you too.
Follow 'em, car.
Is there a first aid student in the house?
We don't use any ammunition, folks. We save it all for the army. Pick 'em up or I'll blow your brains out. You broke my little hammer.
No fit 'em, putt-putt.